On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580. By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader in the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turn-offs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is going to be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad touch routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man moves on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
So what is repression? How is it a defense mechanism? And why is it so misunderstood? Well, repression is a defense mechanism where the emotions that a person experiences are immediately taken away from the person from underneath, such that they are never really even seen, felt, heard, experienced by the person who actually had the feeling. Now, why would that be a defense mechanism? Why do we need that? Well, in essence, it happens for children whose parents cannot tolerate any level of emotion in the child or any particular or specific emotion. So what happens then is that an automatic process in the mind automatically removes whatever feeling the caregiver can't tolerate, say, for example, love. If the parent can't tolerate the child expressing any love, having any loving feelings, because the parent might feel, or the caregiver might feel shame or guilt or whatever they might feel, then an automatic process starts happening for the child where the defense mechanism repression comes in, and every time the child feels love, it comes in and it removes the love from underneath, such that by the time any signals would go to the brain and say, hey, I'm feeling love, they're already gone. Now, repression is one of the most well-known, well-spoken about, largely spoken about defense mechanisms, all the way back to Anna Freud and Sigmund Freud. Like, in essence, what it's supposed to do, anyway, I think it was Sigmund Freud that said something like, it's almost like take the emotion, bury it in the cellar, and that way the person who's feeling it would never be aware of it. And that's the key aspect of repression. Now, I want to point out something extremely crucial, and I know that I think it was an Alan Abbas workshop that I was at one time, and he said, we should really be calling repression instant repression to really highlight the swiftness, the severity with which it happens. Is that instant repression is something like the feeling comes and it's immediately removed from underneath. It's not like the person is going, oh yeah, I'm going to bury that sadness. It's not like that. It's kind of immediately removed, and the person is actually unaware of that feeling. So if you're pushing your patient to feel a repressed emotion, you'll get nowhere. You'll get nowhere. What you have to do instead is focus on the defense mechanisms that is getting in the way of the instant, sort of that's causing the instant repression, if you will, that's getting in the way of the person being able to connect with that emotion. And those include things like getting rid of other defense mechanisms that sit on top of the instant repression, getting and increasing their insight or awareness into their own body and feelings, and also regulating the massive amounts of anxiety that would be involved in causing or
a little double speak at the end. It was good, but a little double speak at the end. At the end of the day, if you remove the defense mechanism, you're going to be exposed, and you're going to have to feel. Normalize feeling.
Come on, that was the old banana in the tailpipe. Let me trick you into feeling. That's what he said at the end. Focus on the defense mechanism. Okay, let's focus on the denial. Intellectualization. Right? Let's do all of that. And then once we've conquered those things, we're bare. We're exposed. So we're going to wind up feeling anyway. We need to go in, first off, normalize empathizing with your anxiety. Normalize nurturing your fear. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? You're not going to love anybody. They're not going to love you. I'm sorry. See, everybody want to be politically correct. Everybody want to say something that's cute. Everybody want to toxic positivity you to death. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, will not. As long as your wound's gas tank is full, it's going to be on the road. I'm sorry. That's where the conditions come from. The conditions are rooted in fear. Do you understand? Carl Jung said it this way. Out of evil, much good has come to me. By keeping quiet, repressing nothing, remaining attentive, and by accepting reality, taking things as they are, and not as I wanted them to be, by doing all of this, unusual knowledge has come to me, and unusual powers as well, such as I could never have imagined before. I thought that when we accepted things, they overpowered us in some way or other. I thought that when we accepted things, those very things overpowered us in some way or another. This turns out to not be true at all. And it is only by accepting them that one can assume an attitude towards them. So now, I intend to play a game in the game of life, being receptive to whatever comes to me, good and bad, sun and shadow, forever alternating, and in this way, also accepting my own nature with its positive and negative sides. Thus, everything becomes more alive to me. What a fool I was. How I tried to force everything to go according to the way I thought it ought to. An ex-patient of C.G. Jung, Alchemical Studies, page 47, Carl Jung. Understand what was just laid out. You end a relationship because it hurt you. So the way your little primitive brain is set up, it's not really primitive, you just don't know how to use it. You remember that television show, The Greatest American Superhero, where the guy found the alien suit, but he lost the instructions and didn't know how to fly? That's how our spirit and our brain is used. Listen, let me just say, we are far more powerful than our fears and unhealed wounds allow us to be. Imagine if we approached everything like that, from that perspective. So now, I intend to play the game of life, being receptive to whatever comes to me, good and bad, sun and shadow, forever alternating, And in this way, also accepting my own nature with its positive and negative side. Listen, do you understand from this perspective any situation can be healed? This is what the great Krishnamurti meant by inside every problem, there is an inherent answer to it. Do you know what our best answer is? Move on. I'm listening to these relationship people. Move on. You should have been moved on. That's the best answer. Leave. Do you know that's the most unevolved answer? You got a supercomputer as a brain that is translating and interpreting things that your spirit is, and your best answer is move on. You mean to tell me it never occurred to you spiritually that your spirit could turn the conflict of intimate relationship from dirty water to wine? You better go back to the marriage of Cana. Jesus, we're out of wine. Bring the water bottle over here. We ain't gonna never be out of wine. Transmutation should be the answer. But you don't know how to do that because your wounds are a part of your ego. And your ego is a part of who you think you are. And your wound is afraid of, listen, your ego is afraid of death. Your wounds have an insatiable appetite that can never be satiated. Please do this. If you would have just did this, if you would have showed up this way, if you would have came like this, if you would have blame over claim, not knowing that God set your spirit and your brain and your central nervous system up perfectly. Give that person this person. You say, oh, let's get metaphysical. Relationships are a mirror. You mean to tell me attachment styles mirror each other? Oh, absolutely. What? What? Yes. You mean certain attachment styles are attracted to each other? Yes. Oh, you mean the word mirror means shadow? Yes. So Carl Jung and them was talking about the unconscious and the shadow as a storehouse of all your repressed. Oh yeah. So you mean to tell me relationships are supposed to stir all of that up for reconciliation? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the Cheesecake Factory. Is the Cheesecake Factory a suitable first date? I be wanting to jump off a building. I be listening like, okay, they don't need me. Let me get up out of here. They don't need me. They don't want to talk to me about nothing. This is why nobody knows how to be in a relationship with a human being. Nobody knows how to do it. I'm not asking you to be in a relationship with an abuser, a psychopath, a sociopath. I'm not asking for you to be in a relationship with a malignant, grandiose narcissist. I'm not asking you to stay there. What I'm saying is, let's just take it all out. Let's just take all of that out, right? Could you be in a relationship with a normal person that got problems, that has issues? People don't know what grace means. They think grace means tolerance. Listen, a mountain with a volcano on the inside is the master of tolerance. Pressure is building up. Do you understand? If a mountain can't hold the volcano, what makes you think your relationship can hold your repressed hurts? It can't. It's only a matter of time. Am I going off? Can somebody call me and say, Zoe, stop going off, man? You don't even need to go off like this. But can you imagine? No disrespect. I don't want to disrespect. Yes. I'm sorry. Let me get my people in here. Andy, do we got time to get folk in? Look, come on in, Attila. Attila, get in here and make this make sense for me.
Okay, so, Lord, while I was waiting in the upper room, something came to mind. One of the comments that was left. Let me find it. Okay, so No Cap said, when someone says they are good at blocking stuff out, is this repression? I would say absolutely. I think the caveat with this is when you are self-actualized, evolved, seeking enlightenment, what purpose does blocking things out really serve you? It doesn't. I don't need to block out that which I can transmute. So when we're talking about things, I'm just saying, so when we're talking about things that we repress, for me, is anger. And my anger comes out in spurts. It's like I'll be snapping on people and stuff. I'll be like, ooh, Lord. And I know it's wrong because I can feel it. So the higher me can clearly identify that this is incorrect. And I think the mistake that we make a lot of times is that we don't go back and, A, fix our mistakes, but B, give ourselves grace. It's hard for me to forgive myself. And so I think toxic shame and guilt needs to be talked about in this discussion, right? A great book that you recommended to me on our one-on-one counseling was Guilt is the Teacher, Love is the Lesson.
Come on.
There's quite a few things that she said in there that really kind of hit me in the face. But there's one particular chapter that she has about like spirituality and religion and things like that. And when I tell you it took me so long to read it, I think a lot of our beliefs put us in a space of holding, like a jail almost. And so religion, institutions, things that have a sense of conformity to them can also be something that we can use as a repression mechanism. And I think that it's a lot easier for us to hide behind these institutions than it is to actually do the work, right the wrongs. You know, it's real easy to say God will fix it, just pray, whatever the case may be, and nobody has to be the wiser or the bad guy. So you know what I'm saying? So you've heard people talk about church hurt. So you've got a lot of people out there walking around who have walked into an institution that teaches you to repress. So you walk out of it not refreshed, but repressed. And I think it's very easy for us to focus on the people who have oppressed us.
As a matter of fact, you just hold tight. We need a praise break moment when we come forward. When we come forward, we going back to Houston, Texas. Attila's on fire.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one.
Let's bring them back.
Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your blast.
Have a deep update.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk
If you have a child with anxiety or OCD, one thing you don't want to do that a lot of us recommend is distraction. Distraction is a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. We want to teach our kids how to handle uncomfortable thoughts and feelings so that they can learn how to navigate those long term. So when we distract ourselves, we're kicking the can down the road so that we have to deal with those feelings later. And distraction can become a compulsion with OCD, where our kids are running on empty, trying to distract themselves, trying to keep busy so they don't have those intrusive thoughts or feelings. So it's better to give them skills and tools for long-term success. And I have a whole bunch of those at atparentingsurvivalschool.com that you can look into. And I'm doing a free series at atparentingsurvivalseries.com that's going on right now. I'd love to help you create a therapeutic home environment so that we can build those skills and our kids aren't on a loop trying to distract themselves.
Man, we're talking about repression. Yes, sometimes we do it unconsciously, but sometimes there's some conscious repression. Andy seems to have a thought that he would like to share. Talk to me, Andy.
Yeah, the lady, she kind of triggered me. Just a little bit.
Go ahead.
Although I understand what she was trying to say, I do think that sometimes in certain situations, that distraction is necessary as long as you have the intention to want to come back to said discussion, right?
Right.
Because I think sometimes distraction is necessary because if my emotions are very high, I may say something that I might regret.
Right.
I'd rather calm down, relax, gather my thoughts, then get back to it.
That's like table it. Let's table it
yes,
for now.
100%.
Yeah, sometimes grown-ups need recess. Andy started laughing. Ain't nothing wrong with recess. Recess can lead to a reset. I'm all right with that. Listen. A lot of your repression comes from your childhood. The best parenting style, if you want to get into parenting styles. See, the black community, most of us come from the authoritarian style. You gonna do what with wind, what I tell you to do, when I tell you to do it, where I tell you to do it, without any questions asked. Do you understand? That's black parenting. Authoritarian, for the most part. I'm not trying to stereotype us. I'm just saying. There are many of us that got switches braided. Go outside and pick me the finest switches you can find. Ask one of your brothers who you got beef with. Boom. Get me the finest switches and sit down, have your sister braid them up. Because you finna get it. Or extension cords. Or whatever. My mama beat me with whatever. You hear these stories, right? Come on. So we think, man, you even have black people saying now, if it wasn't for my mama doing what she did, I turned out all right. That's some of our talk. But it turns out the best parenting style is authoritative. I am authoritative. I got rules, and there will be consequences if you don't follow the rules. Do you understand? And with authoritative, there's flexibility for the child to have a voice. Boy, poverty is a serial killer. If them bills and that stress is building up, that kid gonna catch it straight. When we come forward, the voice of reason going back to the phone line.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is unhappy that another child has died in the city due to gun violence. The mayor talked about the shooting death of 3-year-old Taya Settles, calling it tragic. Bowser, who is black, said she has had to talk about gun deaths so many times that she sounds like a broken record. She added that D.C. residents have to say enough is enough when it comes to ending gun violence. Authorities are offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of a suspect in the child's death. The judge in former President Trump's classified documents case is indefinitely postponing the trial start date. The judge cited a failure to resolve outstanding pretrial litigation about how the classified documents would be used during the trial. The trial was to start in late May, but now will likely be delayed until after the election. Trump is accused of illegally keeping and storing government documents that he should have returned after his time in office. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Feel plenty good by incorporating Silk into your morning routine. Silk's delicious plant-based beverages help bring a daily dose of goodness. They are rich in calcium and a good source of vitamins A and D to support the health of you and your family. Shop wherever you find groceries.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580. By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Keep the leader in the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV. City of Los Angeles landlords, verify your tenant's emergency renters assistance program status today. Tenants approved for rental assistance are protected from eviction for non-payment of rent through May 31st, 2024. Approved rental assistance applications protect tenants from eviction for non-payment of rent. Refusing to accept rental assistance based on their source of income is illegal under law and can be used as a defense in an eviction case. Check your tenant's application status now at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org. Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheSkin.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening.
For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Joe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk
Shake your body. We don't feel, we chill at a party. We move that's sensual, three-dimensional, unquestionable, love it, professional. Got a category, my own, and I'm the president. Don't be alarmed, but I'm showing up the resident. With my particular style, particular, extracurricular, smoother and chicken. Throwing up lyrics like a throw from blackjack. You're a chicken McNugget, and I'm a Big Mac. Brain smack, soloist, having Coca-Cola with me. Doing very well, cause I took the right road to this bag. Maybe the undertaker, wreck the breaker. Get up on the floor, do the heavyweight shaker. Started with the power, I'ma end it with a bang, bang, bang. We got our own thing.
What does it mean to project, and how do you stop doing it? I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. Today's topic is based on a viewer question, and here's the question. I know I project a lot with my spouse. I attribute this to my very low self-esteem, which he made worse by body shaming me with comments such as, she let herself go, as in, I gained weight. My question is, how do I stop projecting my insecurities when he has made direct comments about my physical appearance? Thank you for this question. First of all, what is projection? Projection is a psychological defense mechanism where you have feelings and emotions that are unacceptable to you, and instead of owning it, you attribute it to someone else. Here's an example. Let's expand on the viewer's question. I'll call her Tina, and I'm making this all up. Tina has always lived in the shadow of her sister, who was prettier, smarter, and more successful. Tina married her college sweetheart right after college and immediately became a stay-at-home wife and then a mom. Tina feels like her life is always about soccer games and homework. So this is the backdrop here. So she and her husband are watching television, and her sister is on the news because she just got promoted to CFO of a tech company. Tina's husband says, wow, your sister is amazing. Tina feels hurt by this statement and says, I bet you regret marrying me. I've never been good enough for you. In fact, Tina is always accusing him of having an affair with a better woman, and each time he's like, what? But even though her husband does feel like she has let herself go since she had the kids, he still loves her, but he's sick of her always accusing him of wanting another woman. So what's really behind this? Tina doesn't like herself, and seeing her sister's accomplishments makes her feel even worse about herself. Now, she recognizes this. What she doesn't recognize is, on a conscious level, is that she regrets getting married and having children so young. She loves her kids, but she feels like this stay-at-home life has kept her from blossoming into becoming the best version of herself. And since her youngest child is 9, she feels trapped in a prison sentence of denying her own needs for the next 10 years. Tina projects this unacceptable thought onto her husband, saying that he's the one who regrets getting married. And she justifies this.
Using Dr. Tracy's example, she don't love her husband? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Most of us are in a tolerance-based relationship, marriage, whatever. It could be legal, it could be cohabitation, whatever. Stop calling the low-level stuff we got love. We've bastardized the term. I'm sorry. I know you guys don't want to hear me say it. You think you got love. You don't. You have addiction. You have attachment. You have codependency. You do not have love. Love is freedom-based. Love has access to all the infinite power that God got. And if you ain't got that, you got the crack version. The crack version is attachment. I'm sorry. I know y'all don't want to hear me talk to you like this, but this is what it is. If your wounds are running you like your pimp, you're not in love with your partner. I'm sorry. Carl Jung said it this way. The educated man tries to repress the inferior one in himself without realizing that by this he forces the latter to become revolutionary. Is that too much? Is that over our heads here? Let's get it back. Rewind. The educated man tries to repress the inferior one in himself without realizing that by this he forces the latter to become revolutionary. So many people run around talking about they got a good relationship, but it's based off of what is done, not who we are. When we start showing the stuff that is in the spiritual locker, i.e. the subconscious, I don't know who you are. I never thought you could do something like this. Yes. Oh, you got to hold on to the rope of discipline. Oh, you got people running around here talking about just be disciplined. That's the answer. As if the idea of discipline is infallible. The human condition outweighs discipline. Why? Because every human being is a work in progress and can and will let go of the rope in a weak moment. Be grateful for your difficulties and challenges, for they hold blessings. In fact, man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health, personal growth, individuation, and self-actualization. Carl Jung. Did you hear what Kendrick said when he was rapping? 616. Did you hear what he said? I learn when I fall. I get better when I make mistakes. Man, when we come forward, I'm going back to the phone lines. We got work to do.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number and put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
This one goes out to all lovers of the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to express my feelings right about now on the way I like to do things. See y'all. Bring it in. Make your head spin like a merry-go-round. Take control like Charles in Charles. I really can't wait, let's stay in the garage. Oops, let me run upstairs, I get the whipped cream. Can't have ice cream without whipped cream. Plus an ice cube to make you swing. Well, amen to the end, do the right thing. Come on, let me take you in all the right places. Keep my eyes open while I watch your make faces. Feeling quite
Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is always my co-host. Listen, I just wanted to do this for Heavy D. You know, coming into the Gemini season, I just wanted to let y'all know the greatest MCs in hip-hop are Gemini. I'm sorry, did y'all forget about Heavy D? Like, Heavy D is one of the greatest ever. And what I loved about Heavy, it was all for the love. Everything was about love. Everything was about fun. Everything was positive. And after a week and a weekend of battle raps and hidden kids and domestic abuse and, allegations of sex trafficking, I just said, come on, let's just get the hip-hop that we all know and love back in the mix. And Heavy D, what better artist than Heavy D? We got callers on the line. I want to get them in our final 10 minutes. Attila from Houston, Texas, please come in here with your final thought.
Yes. So my final thought is a quote from Joan Boriosenko. So she says, emotions are messages about the world, and repressing them simply keeps us in ignorance. It doesn't qualify us for sainthood. You are not doing anyone any favors by repressing who you truly are. Make a list of your true self and your false self and compare. Attack your shame and your guilt, and I think that's honestly the first step to eliminating this problem.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's it.
Wow. Attila from Houston, Texas, guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
Houston's in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know the routine, 1-800-920-1580. Let's get to know Cap. He's in Haines City, Florida. Haines City, Florida. Get in here, No Cap. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Zoe, man, this is a great show. repression. I never really thought about connecting repression with my wife before we even got married. Her telling me that she was good at blocking things. She bragged about it like it was a skill. Like she was just good at blocking stuff out. And so this is very enlightening, and you're making me think that repression in connection with ego can influence somebody to train themselves routinely to use coping mechanisms to keep from dealing with the issues that has caused immense fear and anxiety to the point where it becomes OCD, right?
Well, hold on, because I don't want you to make it, because we'll villainize somebody in the way that you're framing it. You got to understand, the coping mechanism is born out of some type of hurt. Typically, it starts way back in childhood. So we can't really villainize them for using coping mechanisms. It's not like there's a coping mechanism webinar that people are signing up for and learning how to do that, right? This isn't the 48 laws of power. This is something a person had to adjust and adapt to using in order to fulfill their needs or protect themselves from some type of internal hurt that happened. So I don't want you to kind of like make it seem like she's the bad guy because she uses coping mechanisms. Everybody uses them.
No, I wasn't trying to make it seem like that. It was just enlightening because I just never really connected what she was saying with repression, because it is kind of a form of repression in a way. Also, with black culture, black people in general have developed the culture of always looking good and seeming like you're on point all the time. And it seems like just being black in general, you're under this pressure of not looking humiliated. We have a hard time accepting humiliation. And I think you're kind of speaking to that point too, right? Would you say so?
Right. But humiliation and the word humility share the same root.
Okay.
It's a matter of perception. People don't want to look bad, so they don't look at the bad within themselves.
That's awesome.
Do you see?
That's awesome.
It's okay. Yeah. Can we normalize not calling it bad? But that's what we've called it.
Right.
And so because there is a negative connotation with the word bad, we don't want to look at our shadow side. But there's so many jewels in the shadow. We don't want to integrate the shadow into our visible persona. We don't want to do that. Because we're ashamed. Where there is shame, there is an impediment to unconditional love. Where there is guilt, there is an impediment to unconditional love. Where there is fear, there is an impediment to unconditional love. All of these things are associated with unhealed wounds. And if we understood grace, we would know that person, regardless of how cool they are, how well they're put together, are walking in with a bag of something under their spirits. If we understood grace, we'd make space.
Before this call is over, because I know you don't have too much time, I wanted to ask you something you said earlier. What did you mean by when somebody says they have loyalty? How is that in connection with repression? I don't know if you remember you said that.
No.
But
I was tying in another topic where I said loyalty and trust are fear-based. And I was saying,
okay, good. Okay.
There you go. Hey, brother, no cap, I appreciate you, man. You're welcome to call in anytime, brother, anytime. You brought Haines City, Florida in the building. Let me get over to another part of Florida. My homeboy Hustle from Miami, Florida is in the building. Talk to us. Hustle, you're my final caller.
What's up, family?
What up, bro? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
So hopefully this may help somebody listening. Something I learned in a relationship I had with an avoidant was they repress solutions while I repress problems. Now, the issue with that is pretty obvious. I'll just say that my solution that I found was releasing attachment. repression is a form of attachment. It's a form of safety. It's when you release attachment, you release the idea of what may be. You release the fear of what you don't want to happen. You release all the things that don't matter in the moment. When you release those things, you can live in the now. And I've gained a lot of freedom from that. So I would say, as far as the biggest thing I've gained is to let go of attachment.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Hey, brother, guess what you just did, man? Guess what you just did?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida is in the building. Hey, we're at the end of the show. Very powerful conversation. And Hustle's call just rings loud in my spirit. And it reminds me of what Carl Jung says. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Do you understand that? We always want to separate ourselves, right? As if we're pristine and clean. And that's your super ego. And the super ego and the id. Remember, we started there. The id is the primal animal version of you. Wants to do everything right now, right now. Let's get it. I want it, I deserve. The super ego is the moral side. And then your ego balances the two, tries to create a synthesis. Do you see? You put hurt on top of that. You put attachment styles on top of that. Carl Jung said it this way. Until you make the conscious or the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So many of us just don't understand. These relationships are not for play. They're for study, self-study. That's what it's for, to discover you, to heal you. Nobody's going to heal you. The best we could be to each other is each other's chalkboard. Nobody's going to heal you, though. Do you understand? We started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. We're not right about everything. You're not required to agree to everything. However, we started it. Now you can continue it and fill in the blanks. Tavis Smiley is up next. I'll see y'all tomorrow with another slapper. Deuces! Feels good.
Sitting in my room with my smoker jacket on. The fireplace is burning and the girlie is warm. Time to make my move. So gently I kiss her.